Okay.
And so the person before me never even saw this cat. Now he comes out and we say hi by the time he touches my finger. And he knows that's what he's like.
Good morning and welcome to Northern Lights Center for Spiritual Living, a community of people dedicated to using spiritual and practical principles to create lives we want to live. And Northern Lights Center for Spiritual Living offers practical and spiritual tools to make positive changes in our lives. Our promise here is to reveal, inspire, uplift, celebrate, and magnify your greatness. We acknowledge our presence here on the traditional and unceded lands of the first people of Seattle, the Duwamish and coastal Salish peoples. These people are still here, and we join with them in how they continue to honor and bring to light their ancient heritage. We seek to resist the erasure of Indigenous histories as we work towards honoring and inviting the truth. In a similar fashion, we acknowledge how much of what we know in this country today, including our culture, economic growth and development throughout history and across time, has been made possible by the labor of enslaved Africans and their ascendants who suffered the horrors of transatlantic trafficking, chattel slavery, and Jim Crow. We also name the Asian and Chicano people who toiled with little recognition. We are indebted to their labors and sacrifices, and we acknowledge the tremors of that violence throughout the generations and resulting impacts that can still be felt and witnessed today. Please join us for our opening song in this very room by Ron and Carol Harris. In this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world. And there's quite enough peace and quite enough power to walk through our every day. For Spirit is in this very room. In this very room. And one of the things that we do here at the Northern Lights Center for Spiritual Living is that we kind of get a chance to try on some of the different spiritual practices that are available. So the practice we're going to be working on this morning, right now, is meditation. So for meditation, I invite you to find as comfortable a position as you can find. And allow yourself to start noticing your breath. We all know that as you breathe in, that process actually speeds up the heart. And as we breathe out, it slows the heart back down. So just pay attention. Is there a greater ease with breathing in? A greater ease with breathing out? Or both equally welcome? in that process. So as your attention falls to the rise, fall of the chest, you may have the opportunity to just set aside the clutter of thoughts and feelings that we acquire. How many of us wake up with a list of things to do? A set of tasks and activities for the day. In this time of meditation, the invitation is to simply set that list aside for a moment. And in setting that aside, pay attention to any feelings that arise. Perhaps we have a new sense of ease. That anything before us can wait. That the urgency that we attach to so many things is our attachment rather than anything inherent in those activities. If feelings of anxiety or worry arise at the prospect of setting aside our to-dos, just take a moment and simply tell ourselves, we are okay. Yes, there are things that we can do. And there are things that this universe can do. So many times we acquire our identity by how many things we can get done, by the unique talents that we have contributing to the world. In this meditation, what if we expand those talents to include our simple presence? By simply being. We are making the world a better place. Just take a moment and allow all of the demands that we place on ourselves, the lists of things that we do and that we are, and imagine we can just set them down. And that breathing in and breathing out is more than enough. this breath in, tell yourself, I am more than enough. And with the breath out, simply acknowledge, I am. Breathing in, I am more than enough. Breathing out, I am. From the Jewish scriptures, the divine looked upon the work of each day of creation and called it good. In our acknowledgement of being enough and of simply being, can add, I am good. So just notice the body's reaction to the acknowledgement of being more than enough. The body's reaction to being celebrated as good. As a glorious, magnificent expression of creation. That with the breath in and the breath out, we are contributing to creation itself. So in that sense, in that space, allow yourself to become present to the support, if you're sitting down, the seat under you. Give awareness to the ground beneath your feet. That your steps on the ground are a gift to creation. So allow yourself to come back to the room, and I say, Amen. Amen. Ashe. And so it is. And we have our declaration, which you can see up there, or people can see on their screen.
Very large.
So we usually go through this 3 times. Please join me I hope you will like to do that. We are an expanding and loving community,
working in a field of infinite potential. We are an expanding and loving community, working in a field of infinite potential. We are an expanding and loving community, working in a field of infinite potential.
So as I mentioned earlier, one of the things that we try to do in the service is we are able to explore some of the spiritual practices. So with the reading can be thought of as study. So this is something that we can reflect on. Today's reading comes from Ernest Holmes' Science of Mind, pages 37 through 39. It isn't all pages 37 through 39. It's tidbits from them. The thing then works for us by working through us and is us always. It cannot work for us in any other way. It spreads itself over the whole universe and shouts at us from every angle. But it can become power to us only when we recognize it as power. Therefore, our belief sets the limit to our demonstration of a principle, which of itself is without limit. It is ready to fill everything because it is infinite. So it is not a question of its willingness, nor of its ability. It's entirely a question of our own receptivity. We are thinking, willing, knowing, conscious centers of life. We are surrounded by, immersed in, and there is flowing through us a creative something. Call it what you will. The sum total of all our thought, will, purpose, and belief creates a tendency in this law that causes it to react to us according to the sum total of that belief. Then knowing that the thing can work for us only through us, let us begin to accept today more good than we experienced yesterday, and to know that we shall reap a harvest of fulfilled desires. The time must come when we shall have left the apparent evil behind, when it shall be rolled up like a scroll and numbered with all the things which were once thought to be. And so it is.
Get your steps in any way you can.
Good morning. First of all, before we do the opening song or the song, I would like us to take a couple moments just to reflect and to send our prayers and support and love to all those affected down in California by the wildfires. The fires that are wiping out homes, businesses, churches, everything. And to know that they get all the support that they need, whether it be food, housing, firefighters, whatever it may be. So just a moment of sending our love. Thank you.
Recording in progress.
No. Who did that?
I did it because you're not recording you're not doing anything on YouTube.
YouTube isn't working.
Why?
I don't know why YouTube isn't working. I'm just letting
I
you know.
know there was a thing that said there's a problem, but it was still working.
No, it's just got a big frowny face.
That's very irritating. It's got me all confused now. I don't like being confused. That's a state of being.
Let it go. The things that have happened in the past, the things that aren't happening right now, let it go. If you want to be free, stop locking yourself into the prison of your past. I let go of some things in my life to focus on better things. I wanna be a better me. I'm gonna stand on my tears at night. Moving on is a remedy. The past won't get the best of me. I won't cheat on my future with my past. Release the heavy weight on my back. Let the pain go away, straight go away, rain wash away all my pain. I know that I want to go. Got to let it go. Got to let it go. I've got good times ahead of me. I'm letting go of things that don't feel right. Just want what's best for me. No more sadness in me. I won't share my future with my past. Release the heavy weight off my back. Let the pain go away, strength go away, rain wash away all my pain. Let go of anger, let go of resentment, let go of the story of what I can't. Let the pain go away, strength go away, rain wash it all away. I know I want to grow. Got to let it go. 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 I want to go. I have to let it go. I have to let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
That's one of my favorite groups on YouTube. Fearless Soul. This seems the right time of year for this. The title originally wasn't Letting Go. It was Making Space, but I'm kind of adding the letting go in there because we have to let go in order to make space. Just like if we want more clothes, you either have to clean out your closet or create another closet. You're still creating space. So the title is letting go to make space. And I want to start this off with a quote from Ernest Holmes. The mind is a magnet, and we attract that with which we identify the self. In order to get the most out of life, we must learn to change many of our habitual thought patterns consciously. This is not easy, for our old thought patterns cling to us with great tenacity. But being thought patterns, they can be reversed. If you are filled with fear, refill yourself with faith, for faith always overcomes fear. Yeah, that's by Ernest Holmes. Yeah, we have to let go. I know that I think we stress a lot on that letting go. To make room for the new to come in. While it's true that we're influenced by many circumstances, such as maybe feeling hot when it's the feeling of, I don't know what it is, when it's extremely hot outside, we have this feeling of hot, heat, whatever. Our true power lies not in controlling external conditions, but in mastering our thoughts and beliefs about those conditions. Okay, what do we believe about these conditions? Did we cause these conditions? Did we alone cause them? And I would say no in almost every case, because we have this race mind, this race thought that creates things, and a lot of us have the same thought at the same time. And that is how we create, like our circumstances, our situations that we're in. I don't believe that, I guess we possibly can create for ourselves something by ourselves. But circumstances around us, conditions around us, I believe that takes more than just our mind. Our mind is very powerful, but you put all these minds together, and sometimes you've got real good, and sometimes you've got chaos. If we focus too much on the circumstances, we can't truly experience where we are or being present in the moment. If we're so wound up in this what's going on, around us, we can't be present in the moment. That's why I love the idea of meditation. Because even though we got all these, sometimes a lot of committees going on in our head while we're trying to meditate, if we practice it long enough and often enough, we're able to set those thoughts aside or let them just flow through and not worry about what's going around us, so that we can be present in that moment. And we don't always have to sit still with our legs crossed and certain pose, whatever. You can do it standing in line at the grocery store. You can just, if you're in line and you go like, oh my God, all these people out, or say hurry up or whatever, you can just, you can stand there and just, you don't even have to close your eyes. But you can just center yourself in that moment. It's that, I've done that a few times lately, and because I get slightly impatient. But a lot of times I want to go through the line. I don't want to do my own checkout, because I want that connection with the person there, and plus I want to help keep their job, So and sometimes I don't want to do that, And but then I have to say, okay, I chose to stand in this line, that was my choice, and invariably you get somebody with just a few items or a couple people, invariably something happens, but you just stop. I'm not in a hurry. It's the way it is. And so if I can try to be in the moment and not get all frustrated by what's going on around me, and because they're not moving fast enough, the creative law responds to our habitual thinking, shaping our lived experience according to the sum total of our thoughts, ideas, beliefs, and opinions. I love the idea that the law, I always, when I release in a treatment, I always like to say that the law takes what I've put into this treatment and shapes it and forms it exactly how it's supposed to be. Because I don't know exactly how it's supposed to be. I may think I do, but sometimes I believe that the universe knows what's better for me in almost any, well, I got to say not almost any, in any circumstances than I do. I may want something, but the universe says, oh, here's something a little bit better, or a little greater, You may ask for, $100, and, the universe says, no, I think you need $1,000. Just because I don't know everything. In some senses, I do. A lot of times we have to ask, when we're asking a question, we just stop and wait. The answer does come. There isn't a single perfect thought to hold. Rather, it's crucial to become aware of the thoughts we are having and recognize their impact on our reality. Okay, how is this affecting us? How is this thought that I'm thinking affecting the present? Is it affecting it positively or negatively? Or do we even need this thought anymore? Sometimes, well, I'll get into that later. The thing, as Reverend Vaughn read, works through us. Often we engage with the law reflectively, allowing our beliefs and thoughts to be shaped by circumstances. We allow, instead of our thoughts creating, we allow the circumstances to create what's going on inside. We may be happy, joyous, and free in the moment, and then something happens, and that changes how we are internally. And the opposite can happen too. What if we actively chose the thoughts and beliefs we keep in mind instead of just reacting to the external events? Because, like Stephanie will say a lot, that I love the idea of choice. Sometimes I blame people, situations, events, whatever. And actually, who is the big thing in it? Who's the one, the constant element? It's me or you in your situation. So what if we actively choose these thoughts instead of allowing things to change our thoughts into like negativity? Because we need to, I always like to say, kick them to the curb. Or even further, but I like the kick to the curb idea. By moving from reactive mindset to one of intentionality, we could greatly transform our lives. So instead of reacting all the time, because we either react or respond. And sometimes I don't like to react. I do it, definitely. But reacting is something I believe we do without thinking. Just like this, it's instant. Well, like somebody will say something, you punch them in the face. I have never done that, but I mean that's reacting to whatever they said, or maybe they just looked at you funny. But responding to something is different. To me, it takes thought to respond instead of totally reacting. the shift of awareness allows us, to align with it more closely with the creative power within us. So if we move to intentionality, Reverend Vaughn always speaks about intent and impact. And I never thought about it before he had a talk about that. And I realize nowadays that so many things, if you look at them, you intended to do something nice or say something nice. But you know how words can get a little tangled up, and it may come out, the impact of it was not what you expected. So that's like that crossing at the railroad. Stop, look, and listen to what you're going to say. I like that because I don't want to regret what I said. Because words indeed have power. And words to me are weapons. And so I try, I don't always succeed, to think before, look before I leave. Do you prefer to go on thinking the same thoughts and find it difficult to accept new ones? I have to say yes. There's times when the same old thoughts come in, and the new one may try to get in there, and just like I say a lot of times, I'm with blinders on, and so nothing can get in. That's where I like, Ernest Holmes, staying open at the time, staying open, and you have to stay open in order to make room for whatever needs to come in. If you wish to grow, develop, and improve your life, you need to let go of your old and outdated thoughts and ideas and accept better ones. I know we've grown up, a lot of us have grown up with these, ideas of our parents, our teachers, our ministers, whatever. And I've hung on to those forever, it seems like. I've hung on to a lot of them probably for 70 years. In our early development, all these things have shaped our minds. They've shaped our minds, our thoughts, and our habits. So we still do a lot of the things, probably, that we did as a kid or a young person. Because that's how it was always done. That's what we learned. That's what we were quote-unquote programmed to learn. But often people carry all these mental programs throughout our lives. If this programming is positive and constructive, then our thoughts and ideas and our life will probably be constructive and positive. However, if a programming is negative and our thoughts and ideas are filled with fears and limitations, and you do not let go of them, your life will probably be shaped according to these thoughts. I know I've had to change a lot of my thoughts, and probably each and every one of you had to change some thoughts now and then from what you learned from your parents, your teachers, or whatever. Because when we're young, we look up to these people. We respect them. And we take what they say, for granted because we kind of put them on a pedestal. And that's the same thing a lot of times with ministers. I have found, and I have made that mistake about putting a minister on a pedestal. And now I am one, so I'm not on a pedestal. I don't want to be on a pedestal because I make mistakes. I'm human. But then when, this person, doesn't have to be a minister, but when this person has something go wrong and might slip off this pedestal, then we're hurt. We feel what is that word? Cheated maybe, or I want to say traitor, but that's,
Disappointed.
oh, that's a very good word, Jeffrey, disappointed. Yeah, exactly. So we really should not, I should not, that's I'm gonna say that, we should not put people on pedestals. Because eventually they may slip and fall. Because they are human. I'm not telling you that you must let go of all your old thoughts and ideas, because there are some that serve us well, and some that do not. So we need to choose which ones we want to boot out and kick to the curb. You need to know that letting go has nothing to do with being inconsiderate, disrespectful of other people's thoughts, ideas, and beliefs, or their traditions, even if you do not accept them. And I like that, because I've learned over the years that, you are entitled to your thoughts, your beliefs, and your ideas. And no, I don't have to agree with them. But I do need to allow you to express them. Well, I think, so if you have something to express, I need to listen. I don't, like I said, you don't have to agree, but sometimes you may agree once you've heard them out. If you've really listened and instead of just sitting there with a blank face and nothing's going in here, it's going over the head, then of course you're not gonna, there's no way you would agree. But not disrespecting somebody for their ideas and thoughts, even though sometimes they may be a little wacky, but there may be something to it, and there may be a little grain within all that is useful. So we let go of our outdated thoughts and ideas, but continue to honor other people's traditions and ways of life. And I think we need to do more of that, the idea of honoring people's more traditions and ways of life, because it's an experience, it's a learning experience. And I think once you learn their traditions and ways of life, their culture, it makes your life richer. And you can understand these people, others, more. I mean, if you don't learn anything about another culture and you just stay in your little circle, you're not learning a lot. You're not experiencing life. If you could examine your thoughts and beliefs without bias, which is probably a real challenge, because I know when I'm thinking about, and I go in there, I jump into judgment. You shouldn't be thinking that, or that's a wrong thought, or whatever. You might be surprised to discover that many of them are outdated, limiting, and unnecessary. I have several things that I have hung on to since childhood. Ask Reverend Vaughn about that. But slowly but surely, I'm finding that I can release them, that they don't serve me anymore. There's a lot of things that I've hung on to for, I have a big, I guess a sea trunk, or whatever you call it, full of these things. And you keep carrying those around or hauling them around, you're gonna get, your body's gonna get wore out. So if we empty out that trunk, or just even lighten it somewhat, then our life is going to be a heck of a lot better. Letting go means removing your attachment to a behavior and a manner of thinking that is outdated and limiting. And that includes stories. Oh, we've got these stories. Oh my God, we have these stories. Woe is me stories. Oh my. And I am probably one of the guiltiest ones. Because sometimes I'm not sure why we feel the need to share these. We're not complete. We haven't completed our dealings with these stories, and maybe at the end of the story, we should just write or say, the end, that's it. It's over, it's done. Or we can change the story. Find the positive in this story that's going on. And letting go means loosening our attachment to ideas, beliefs, and behaviors that harm us and limit us, and which tie you down to old and unpleasant memories and mental programming. It means let go. We hang on, sometimes we let go, but there's like a rubber band. It comes back, Sometimes it comes back, it slaps us in the face. So if we cut the ties, let go, like in the fourth and fifth step in AA, you write, you write a letter to people that you've harmed, or you confront them if you can. I mean, there's cases when you could do it face to face, and you make amends. And whatever they do with it, once you make the amends, it's their business. If there's no forgiveness there or whatever, and they say, I never want to see you again, blah, blah, blah. That's not on you, that's their business. You have come and made amends. And I found that I had several people that I could not do face to face because either they were gone or they were someplace where they were gone. So what you do is you write a letter. And you put everything in that letter, and then you burn it to release it. You let it go, let it go into the ethers, because it's not going to serve you anymore. And for a long time, I hung on to this old girlfriend, and there was a tremendous amount of guilt that I had in Japan, and I had to ask for her forgiveness. Because that's extremely important. One thing for sobriety, and one thing just plain for your mental health. So you would understand better what letting go means if you imagine yourself carrying, like I said, a sea trunk or a huge rock around. And then once you let that go, the relief that it gives. I know when I was in treatment, this one advisor taught us this relaxation therapy. And that was, I haven't done it in a long time, but I used to do it off and on. It's where you start at the top of your head and you tense, you get it as tense as you can, and then you let it go. And that feeling of letting go, that you can actually physically feel it. And you just work your way down your body. And by the time you're done, you're like a wet dish rag maybe. I was anyway. But it's if we could do that with things in our lives that are bugging us, okay, get that in and just say, be gone. Go back to the nothingness from where you came. Because you don't work in my life anymore. And that may be people. Sometimes we have to let people go. So most people carry painful memories. I'm one for that. I mean, I don't advocate that. I mean, I'm one that does that. Painful memories, anger, negative feelings, thoughts, and ideas that are not helpful. What good did they do in your life? What good do they serve you? Letting them go means detaching from them and stop dwelling on them. And that is one of the things where I've been guilty of doing is that sometimes I dwell on things from the past, and I hope eventually, before I leave this earth, that I can release all of them. That's one of my earthly goals, is to release all these things that no longer serve, that I don't need to hang on to because they're not feeding me in the way I need to be fed. They're not feeding you physically, emotionally, mentally. So letting go of unnecessary and limited thoughts might not be easy at first because we have been attached to them all our lives and we are afraid to lose them. So like the old saying is, it's better to know the, what is it? Know the devil?
Devil, you know.
The devil you know.
It's
is
better
devil.
to know the devil you know than the one you don't. And I don't buy that. Because that devil you know, if you hang on to it, it's not going to make your life better. And that I know going out and trying something new or changing the way you do something, it's not always easy. It's not easy to be green, you know. I don't know, I just have to throw that in there. Little Kermit. However, this is not a loss. It is becoming free and learning to think in a more positive and constructive manner. So by letting these go, then we have room, you know, wherever we keep them, we have room to let other new ideas, new perspectives enter in. Amare said, if you want to fly in the sky, you need to leave the earth. If you want to move forward, you need to let go of the past that drags you down. And I love that because I love the first part of that because if you want to fly in the sky, that's one of my things I always wanted to be able to do as a human, but not yet. But you have to leave the earth if you want to fly. You can't fly standing here or sitting. Same thing if you want to move forward. You don't want to be dragged back by that sea trunk or by those rocks that hold you back. And then Deepak Chopra said, in the process of letting go, you will lose many things from the past, but you will find yourself. And I love it because if you're so focused on all this crap from the past, even like yesterday, that's the past. If you focus too much on it, you're not going to know yourself. You're not going to be yourself. And one more quote from Jack Cornfield. To let go is to release the images and emotions, the grudges. That to me was a good one. The grudges and fears, the clinging and disappointments of the past that bind our spirits. So letting go is the key. It's the key to move forward. It's the key to make room for more ideas and thoughts. It's a key to your future. So we do have a little life work suggestion. This week, take some time each day and sit with this thought. What I know to be true about myself right now is. And write it down, whatever it is, just as it comes out. Don't worry about whether you like what you wrote, because you may not like what you wrote. Just let it flow. Just let it come out. Be honest. No judgment. In doing so, you allow yourself to see the thoughts that are shaping your experience. I really like that because I've wondered so many times that, okay, how many thoughts can go through a person's mind in like 1 minute? You can't count them, I don't think, unless you're definitely focused on one thing. But a lot of times you're just moving along, and I go, where in the hell did that come from? You know, I have no idea where that thought came from, or a song or anything like that. But yeah, our minds are tricky. If what you discovered feels uplifting and true, embrace it. When you encounter a thought that no longer serves you, view it with an opportunity to gently replace it with one that aligns with your highest aspirations. So if there's one that comes in that's not so hot, change it. You can change it. You can, like Bill, change your thinking, change your life, change it, change that thought. By cultivating this kind of awareness, we open ourselves to greater spiritual growth and transformation. Therefore, let's move forward with the intention to consciously create from a place of clarity and truth. So, just prompt yourself with what I know to be true about myself right now. Be honest, non-judgmental. It's hard to do sometimes, but just allow it to flow. Allow that to come out and see exactly where it's taking you. Sometimes I like that idea, sometimes I don't. Because like it says, there's some things that come out, like I've shared before with the exercise in practitioner 1. We had to meditate for like 10 minutes and then write down about our childhood. It was very interesting what came out. There were things in there I had no idea were living inside me. So be gentle with yourself, you know. If things come up that are disruptive or harming, deal with them and poof, tell them to leave, get rid of them. Because they're not allowing you to move forward. And so now we do have an affirmation somewhere here in this little, where are you, little affirmation? I'm getting there. There we go. So we'll read this 3 times. I clear the clutter and make space for new possibilities. I clear the clutter and make space for new possibilities. And I clear the clutter and make space for new possibilities. I just, in saying that, I just love, I clear the clutter. I mean, period, I clear the clutter. Say that 10 times fast. And so now we do have a song. And this song, I listened to it I don't know how many times. And I love to get it. Oh, wait, I love to have the words. That's why usually every week when I have a song, I like to try to get the lyrics. And that's why I love YouTube, because if you search hard enough, you know, you're bound to find the one you want. And this one is by Nickelback, and it says, what are you waiting for? And something in that triggered this morning, and from the, I don't know how many people saw The Matrix, but when Neo was talking to the, what's the Oracle,
yeah.
I knew I should get this. She says, let's see. You're looking for something, or you're waiting for something. She says, well, maybe it's your next life. You know, maybe we don't know what we want, or you know, and it's like, what are we waiting for? This life is so short. Go for that was it, the beer commercial. Go for the gusto. Go for it. You know, if you want to do something, take a risk, take a leap. So that's what I like about this. I like about this song.
Are you waiting on a lightning strike? Are you waiting for the perfect night? Are you waiting till the time is right? What are you waiting for? Don't you wanna learn to deal with fear? Don't you wanna take the wheel and steer? Don't you wait another minute here? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? You wanna reach for the top, believing everything that you know. So tell me, what are you waiting for? You gotta get you lose? What are you in for? What are you in for? Favorite life. Don't you really wanna live your life? Don't you wanna love before you die? What are you in for? What are you in for? Are you reach for the top? Believing everything that you believing what so tell me. What are you waiting for? Know you gotta give it your all. Don't you be brave, it's good for. Believing what so tell me. What are you waiting for? Tell me what you're waiting for. Tell me what you're waiting for. Show me what you're waiting for. What you gonna say for? What you really waiting for? What you really waiting for? Tell me what you're waiting for. Tell me what you're waiting for. Show me what you're waiting for. What you gonna say for? What you gonna say for? What you really waiting for? What you really waiting for? Made mistakes, but everybody's got a choice to make. Everybody needs a leap of faith. Where are you taking yours? What are you in for? You reach for the top. Believing everything that you so tell me. What are you waiting for? Know you gotta give it your all. Don't you be brave, it's good for. Believing what so tell me. What are you waiting for? You reach for the top. What are you in for? Believing everything that you got. What are you waiting for? Know you gotta give it your all. What are you in for? Believing what so tell me. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for?
Good question. Okay. Did you stop recording?
Pardon?
Stop recording. So today,